Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I'm your host, juliarene.
And Kendall, Leah.
And today we are going to talk about social media.
Woo.
I've been educating myself even a lot more lately on like social media growth and just stuff like that.
Me too.
So I've been wanting to just share it with everybody. I also, the reason that this is, I guess, I've just been asked a lot about this. I get asked a lot in DMs about like, how do I start like a fitness account? How do I grow followers? Like how like people asking me.
People
just,
ask us about sponsorships all the time.
How do you get sponsors? Like stuff like that. And I thought this was a good episode. So I started, and the reason that I wanted to say this too is because I started 2019. I believe with 800 followers on my Instagram, which was just like high school. And that was like the only really social media platform that I had except from Facebook. And now I have 1 million plus on like all my platforms. So I think TikTok is like 780,000, YouTube is 75,000, and then Instagram 255,000.
Yeah.
Threads is 12K.
I haven't started on Threads yet.
Twitter is like 15K. So like we're adding all those up. Yeah, I barely use Twitter, but it just now there's Threads. So anyways, I'm also wondering how people like Threads. I kind of like it.
I haven't even gotten it yet.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Okay.
I think I like it better because I never really did Twitter, but that's easier now that it's connected to Instagram, and they're kind of genius for doing that. And like the amount of people that have signed up for it automatically.
I got the app.
Crazy.
I just haven't made an account yet. Maybe I'll check it out later today.
It's literally the fastest thing because it just copies your Instagram into it. It's wild.
Sick.
Yeah. And then it literally notifies all your Instagram followers.
Follow us on Threads.
Yeah, follow us on Threads. But yeah, so I wanted to show like the things that I did, and Kendall will probably share some of the things that she did too to grow her social media. And it doesn't matter like whatever it is that you're doing. Like if you're listening to this and you're not a fitness person or whatever, like whatever kind of business that you have or whatever kind of service that you want to provide, these are tips that can be used like all across the board.
Yeah.
So number one, I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to serve people and what kind of people do you want to serve? So I want you to think about like, what is your avatar? And your avatar is, what is the exact follower that you're trying to attract? Like how old is he or she? What do they do for a living? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? One example that I love to use is like Lululemon's avatar that they created was like 40 pages long. And it was literally like her name is Sarah and she is just fresh out of college and she does this as a job and she wears this. And then they even made like a sub avatar, which was the mom of Sarah.
That's so interesting.
It's crazy. Like just how and that's exactly like the type of person that shops at Lululemon.
Yeah.
Like, so
if you don't know who you're marketing to, it's hard to market. And like at the end of the day, social media is fully marketing. Maybe you're marketing your business or your services, or maybe you're just marketing yourself. Maybe you want to have like collaborations and sponsorships. So
exactly.
Yeah, you don't know what to post or who to post for until you create that who is my target audience.
Exactly. And that's why people get so confused on like, well, what do I post? It's like, well, what would that person that you're trying to attract and get to follow you, what would they need? And like a really good person to have be your avatar is your past self. So like, for example, like if you are a fitness person and you know what you struggled with when you started your fitness journey, you can be marketing to that person. And it's actually so easy because you were once there. So think about all the questions that you had when you first started about like nutrition, about this, about that, and speak to that person. So once you have the avatar kind of like mapped out, literally just like type it up, write it out, think about like every single detail that this person be struggling with. Like what are their likes? What are their dislikes? And even like, where are their pain points? Like what do they struggle with? So for me, the person that I want to serve or attract is kind of like aspiring bodybuilders. And that's like a lot of the followers that we get on this podcast and that we get on like all our social media platform is like people that are interested in bodybuilding, like lifting, weightlifting specifically, or who are interested in competing. So I always think about like, what do they want to know? Like, what is this person like? Like, where do they live? What do they do? What struggles would they have? So I think about like when I started lifting and I wanted to get into bodybuilding, I was interested about it. What was scary? I was like, okay, well, thinking about what does like signing up for a competition actually look like? Like, what does posing for this division look like? Like, what are the steps to building muscle? Like all of these things. And then this also goes into like figuring out what your niche is. Some people say niche, some people say niche. I say niche.
I say niche.
Yeah. And basically a niche is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. So if you're in a if you're a fitness mom and you're helping moms who are trying to get their bodies back postpartum, that is a very specific niche. So you're going to want to put that like in your bio, that that's the kind of person that you're helping.
Yeah.
And it also helps that was once what you were like you were once a mom who was postpartum trying to get her body back. So now you're going to attract that kind of person to your account, because you're going to be posting content that's like, this is what I did, this is what I ate, this is the workouts that I did, this is how I balance being a mom and also like working out. Then you're going to get a lot of people that were just like you. So that's number one. What is your avatar? How do you want to serve people? And figure out what your niche is in this market. And even if you can go like really specific, like aspiring bodybuilders is kind of specific. It seems like very big because like we're so involved in it, world, but it's actually really, really, really niche. Like there's not that many bodybuilders out there. So number two, what platform do you want to use? So I definitely recommend just choosing one and mastering that and then adding on. Look, we were just talking about Threads on the way here. That's TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. What else is there? YouTube. There's so many accounts that it could be so overwhelming and make you think that you need to do them all. I started just with Instagram. I educated myself. I learned how it works. I learned the best practices, the best hashtag strategies, like how to show up on your stories, like how to answer DMs, all of these things. And I learned what the platform can offer. And then I added on TikTok. Learned about TikTok. How do I grow on TikTok? What kind of content does well? Then I added on YouTube. I swear if I would have done them all at the same time, first of all, I was working 2 jobs at the time. I wouldn't have had time to do that. And I would have been overwhelmed and putting out subpar content because it was just too much. So figure out which one that you want to use. I definitely recommend probably Instagram to start with. It's definitely a little bit harder to grow, but it is such like, it's like a base platform for like everything, kind of.
Like YouTube is going to take far more dedicated hours to one video compared to like an Instagram photo, per se.
Very true.
And I want to add that like the reason Julia has such a big following across so many platforms now is because she started with one and people were drawn to you and they liked you and you developed a following. So then when you were like, hey, I made a TikTok, it was like a no-brainer for all of those people to be like, oh, well, of course I want to see more of her. Oh, I started a YouTube. Oh, I want to see more of her. Or like even this podcast. Like I think it's easy to add on, and like the people that support you are going to support you on any platform they're on too.
It's very true. And you also have to think like when you do start adding on these other platforms, like everyone is so different. Like there's Instagram people, there's TikTok people, there's YouTube people. Like I have people that just watch my YouTube channel and don't really see me on anything else because that's how they like to connect to me. We have people that listen to this podcast that just listen to the podcast. Like I had someone on YouTube that said, I just found your podcast, and now they started adding on to that, you know? So different ways that people can connect with you. Some people like to connect with you via just like photos or like reels from Instagram, or like random silly things that you do on TikTok, or just like one-liners from Threads, or personal life stuff from like YouTube. That's why like every little thing is awesome. So find the one that works for you. Like if podcasting is your thing and you love speaking, do that. If making videos are your thing, do YouTubers, do reels. Whatever it is that you're good at. If you love writing copy, maybe starting like a blog. What are you good at and how can you share it to the world in the best of your ability? Then start adding the things on. So once you pick your platform, nail it down, educate yourself. There is no excuse why you shouldn't know how to work these platforms. You literally go on YouTube and put in like how to use Instagram. What are the best practices for Instagram? There are so many things. There's also this guy, his name is Benjamin something, but his YouTube channel is literally about how to grow like everything. And his videos are so short, so easy to digest that I love them. I'll put the link down below for you guys, but I can't remember his name.
I'll be watching those later.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Even Instagram, like say Instagram is the platform that you're like, I really want to like start here and grow here first. Even like they put out their own like community help, like go into like your settings, you can find a lot of articles written by Instagram about how their own algorithm works, what they push, what they don't push.
I did not know that.
I read up a ton of it yesterday.
You did? That's
Fun
right.
fact, I am confirmed shadow banned. Instagram reached out and they were like, we're not showing your profile to anyone that isn't following you. It was an alert when I opened the app and a thing came up and it said, we're no longer showing your profile to people who aren't following you. And I was like, well, this sucks, but let me read into it. And at the end of the day, I think it's because I post a lot in bikinis, which like, I feel like my stuff isn't that raunchy or anything, but it's fine. It's fine. Like I get it. They are cutting down more and more about not showing like maybe a photo of like my bare back to like a 16-year-old girl, you know, because that's what happens is like when you're on the explore page, anyone of any age could see it. So they are getting a little more strict, which I respect. So I went and archived a bunch of bikini photos. But anyway, that led me down a rabbit hole of all of these articles where it was telling me why they won't push certain accounts. And I'm like, okay, now these are new guidelines I know for myself.
Well, would you care to share with the audience?
There was a long list, and I honestly, you can go in. How I did it is you go to settings, like the privacy and settings one, and it's literally just account status is an option. If your account is a business account, which I recommend to anyone who's starting on Instagram or TikTok, make your account a business account if possible, because then you can see your analytics and like really track your progress. I feel like if you don't have something to track, you don't know if you're really growing or reaching who you want to be reaching. You could even see your target audience on there. You can see how many female versus male followers you have, what their age groups are. Those are all like really good statistics to know. Which can also
help you find what your avatar is, because that helped me a lot really figure out my avatar, because now I know that, okay, the majority of the women that follow me are from this age to this age and they're living in this region. Like Instagram helps you with this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can also
use the tools at hand.
Yeah, literally Instagram has, and we'll talk about this in a second, but it literally has tools to help you figure this stuff out. Like you can literally just poll your people on Instagram. Yeah. That's what I did before I launched my program. I just polled them on like, do you want this or do you want this? Like people will tell you. People love giving their advice to you and love like trying to help you and poking buttons on Instagram also.
I love doing it too. But yeah, so you can find a lot on Instagram itself. I'm sure TikTok also has like community pages where they like recommend certain things. I know there's like apps for finding like the best sounds. Just like use the tools around you.
Yeah, I have apps for that. It's pretty good. It's called Trend Talk.
Good to know.
Trend.
Am downloading
Talk.
that.
It's literally shows you all the trending sounds on TikTok, and it connects to TikTok, so it goes straight to them. It's really cool. So, number 3. After you've chosen your platform, whatever it's going to be, I need you to commit to showing up on that chosen platform. How many days are you going to commit? And look, you don't have to show up every single day. I'm not telling you to do that. But if you commit to posting 3 times a week, Monday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, you show up on those days. Yeah. And then commit to how many times you're going to show up on your story. It's definitely a lot easier to show up on your story than it is to like create a whole post and do the hashtags and make sure like everything is tagged or whatever and it looks good. But showing up in your story is like, just be yourself, like be genuine, show like what you're doing on your regular
what you're
day.
Eating that day.
What
like
you're
anything.
eating.
Yeah. And then Instagram now has like a thing where you can schedule posts out. Yeah. So I find it really helpful, like maybe the night before, if I like know I'm usually forgetful or I like don't always post at the right times or whatever, schedule your posts ahead of time or like at least plan them out so you know what this week of content's going to look like. It'll make it a lot less stressful to be like, oh crap, like I forgot I have to post for this one brand. I need to do a photo shoot this morning, post tonight. Like it's better if you have it lined up. Yeah,
I literally use my assistant have helped me find this I don't know what you would call it. It's like, I guess it's like it's not really a content, it's like a schedule planner, but it's called Notion, but we use it for planning content. So we put like sponsored little things in like other like areas and we have those highlighted. And then I just like I planned it all yesterday, what my whole week is going to look like. And I definitely recommend doing this. This was like the biggest thing that I could tell you that I did. What got me to grow was every Saturday or Sunday, I would plan a week of content because I was working at a salon and also trying to grow my social media. So just like Kendall said, like I knew that there were times where I wasn't like, if I didn't have it ready, I wouldn't be able to post. Cause one, the owners of the salon were very strict about using phones. So I would literally have the post ready It was already ready to go, and I would just like copy paste it, post it like when they weren't watching in the back room.
I always write my captions out in like the notes app instead of like on Instagram.
Every time. And
then I can like edit it better. You can see it all.
Exactly. I definitely recommend doing that. That's what I would do, because I would put like Monday post at 9 a.m. or whatever. I would have it already ready, and then I would have like what photo was going there, and I'd set like an album, and I still do all of these things. Like all these things I still do. Because they work. And I would have like an album in my phone of like all of the photos that were going to be posted that week, or the videos that were going to be posted that week. And then it's just like Monday, booty pic, blah, blah, blah. Here's the caption. Wednesday, reel, workout video. Here's the caption. So then if you are working another job and you're trying to build your social media, when you're at that job, you can either have it scheduled out, like Kendall said, or you can just post it organically immediately, so that you don't have to think about like, what am I going to do? So just doing that for the week, it's going to set you up for success. So after you already pick and commit to how many days you're going to show up on your stories and on your posts, stick to it, because people are going to want to see you, and they're also going to expect it. So for me, one thing that I keep like really, really strict, especially on YouTube, is posting every single Monday and Thursday without a doubt. Yeah, Monday and Thursday. I post Monday and Thursday for the YouTube. I post Monday and Wednesday for the podcast, and then I post like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for Instagram. Like those are all just consistent, and I know that they work. I know what times to post because I've tested them. So yeah, just figuring out what is it you're going to post, planning them out on a specific day, especially if you have another job, so that you're ready to go for the week. Yes. Number 4, engagement. This is so big. And
this is what I'm bad at.
This is what I will
say. I used to be better at it.
Yeah. This was really the game changer for me, is that like, even when I had such a small amount of followers and I was growing them, this is what really made me stand out from other people, was because I actually answered everybody's comments back. I answered their DMs. I, reacted to other people's stories. You know, I commented on brands that I really liked and like other people in the industry. This is what really set me apart. And also something that you'll notice too is that like these huge accounts that have like millions and millions of followers, but they don't answer comments, they don't answer DMs, because honestly, it's probably difficult. I get that. And at a certain point, like you probably won't be able to do it, but they don't have the engagement rate that like a person that has 100K or 50K, because they have a manageable amount and they also can answer the stuff. But the engagement rate is huge, because if you do have a small amount of followers, especially if you're just starting out, there's literally no excuse for you to not answer DMs or comments or things. That doesn't mean you have to answer them immediately. Obviously, it's better if you post and then you set aside 30 minutes to answer all of them when they come in, or set aside like a time of the day where you answer all your DMs, because you can make more sales this way. You can create a lot of friendships this way, really hardcore followers. This is how I've created like hardcore followers, because I've answered their DMs. I've literally talked to them personally. I've answered their comments.
It's a connection.
It's a connection.
I always say, like, put yourself in the shoes of the person commenting. I think of 16-year-old Kendall when I was first breaking into the fitness industry, and I remember I would like comment on like Cass Martin's post because she was like my dream woman, and she would, even if she just liked my comment back, it felt more like a connection than me just kind of putting this comment into the abyss. So like, remember that, and remember people are showing up and they're choosing to comment. They're choosing to support you. You have to show appreciation, or else it's like, they're going to fall off, obviously, because if it's not reciprocated, it's not a relationship. Why would you expect them to keep showing up?
Yeah, if you're not going to invest in them, why should they invest in you? And even like, it seems silly to say like, by you liking their comment or answering their DM or answering their question is investing in them. You are, because you're showing that you care. You're showing that like you care that they follow you. I still message about 10 to 15 people a week saying thank you for following me. I still do that to this day.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and it was just something that I first started doing when I was starting out, and a lot of these practices I still do. And obviously now that I have a lot more followers all the way around, I can't answer as much comments and DMs as I would, but I still answer more than the average person does.
If I ever get a question in my DMs, especially if it's pertaining to like needing help with mental health or physical health or whatever, I will 1000% write like a full on paragraph if I have to for like answering that question. I've sent like voice memos because like I genuinely care. And some people, like, you can sense when they don't care as much.
It's very true. Like for me, it's really hard to just delete somebody that has asked like a question like that. Like I don't do that.
Yeah.
I still haven't done that, but it's true because
now if it's just like the fire emoji, I might skip your DM because I'm trying to get to the ones with the questions.
the ones
so
that
I'm
are
sorry,
like, I'm really struggling, blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah.
of course. Like those always like take priority.
Yeah. So really do those things. And all these platforms have engagement tools already for you. YouTube has them. TikTok has them. Instagram has a crap ton of them. So use them. The engagement tools are polls. They are asking questions. They're the question boxes.
I love doing
those. They're
those.
the sliders. They're so fun and people love doing them. So a couple ways to like drive up engagement in your stories is to literally do like a get to know me thing, like doing a question where it's like, get to know me, especially if they are like, you don't have very many followers and your followers don't really know you yet. So you can put like which one is my favorite healthy food? And they can do A, B, or C. Like do a couple of different things. How much do you think I like blah, blah, blah? Make them do like a slider. People love doing that stuff. Why do you think people love playing video games?
Exactly.
Like it's really
love
fun.
Every time Julia posts them, I engage in them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love this. Swipe. Like slide.
It's a lot of fun. So Instagram like really helps you do those things so you can drive your stories up.
Yeah.
And then engagement rates for your comments and for your DMs don't really count, I don't think, towards your engagement percentage, but your comments and your stories definitely do.
If you comment back to like a specific person, then they learn like, oh, she responds when I comment like fast.
They're going to continue to do it.
Exactly. And that's going to push your post more and more. So I think that's important. I also wanted to add like not only engaging back with the people that are already following you, but trying to find other influencers in your space, in your niche. Like having friends in the industry, first off, like I have Julia that I can ask questions to. Like if I get a brand offer, I'm like, do you think this is worth it? Do you think this makes sense? Like it's nice having other people in the same space as you, but also it is good for your engagement to interact with people with the same audience and niche as you. I feel like that drives things up. Like when we post together, or even if like we comment on each other's stuff, like people see that and it does like snowball some stuff.
It's very true, because then say that they follow Kendall, but they don't follow me and they see me on Kendall's page, then they're going to be like, well, if I love Kendall, so maybe I'll like Julia too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do this with other people that are in your industry, either by actually like collaborating on posts and stuff, or, you know, meeting them like eventually in person. I've done that a lot with YouTube, meeting people. With podcasts, we've done that a lot.
Summer shredding, I think, was like this past weekend, and I saw a lot of girls that like I've seen separately on Instagram together, and it's just cool to see.
Yeah. And then they see like blah, blah, blahs with blah, blah, blah. And then they're more inclined to follow the other person.
Exactly.
So it drives up your engagement. It can drive up your followers as well. And you can make some real awesome connections.
Yes.
So speaking of connections, tip number 5, connect to your audience. Like the reason that the quote unquote influencer was created is because it's more realistic, because you're not a celebrity, so it's easier to relate to you because you're just like a regular person, you know?
Just
and
sharing.
It's more attainable. Like I can't really relate to Kim Kardashian. Like I'm sorry, but I can't.
I like, it's fun to idolize like certain parts of her life and like be like, well, I want that house, but it's not like she's the girl next door.
That's true. And a lot of people are saying now, like I follow a lot of like accounts that like talk about like celebrity things, because I never really know what's going on. But a lot of people are saying that the Kardashians are actually like, people aren't liking them as much anymore because of the influencer, because they can't really relate to them at all. And
that happens to so many like really big YouTubers. Once like they reach a certain point and they have those houses that like you feel like you can never get, or like their friend circles are now like all celebrities. Like it's hard to be like seeing yourself in their shoes, so you relate a lot less. Yeah,
that's true, because the reason that they've probably followed them in the first place is because they related to them, and like they felt like there was this one-on-one connection, and then they move past that and they get way more numbers, which is obviously what you want. But then it's hard not to lose that like connection that you have with your audience.
I feel like someone like Emma Chamberlain did it perfectly. I don't know if you've ever like really
Whitney
watched
Simmons
what she does.
Also. I was watching her this morning and I was like, I watched you 5 years ago and I still feel just as connected to you, even though you have more success now.
They're being themselves.
Yeah. And that's like
important.
a huge part of connecting to your audience, because like these people are all over the world that might be following you, and you might not ever meet them in person, but if they can like get to know you on some micro level, obviously you don't have to share your whole life. There's things that I don't share, but I do share a lot of my life, and my mom's literally like, Julia, I can't believe you shared that, you know? And it's like, well, I committed to doing this, but obviously there's some things that I keep private, but you know, you never know like the impact that you can be having on someone by sharing these personal things. I have shared a lot of personal things on social media. So have you, and we have on this podcast. And you can get somebody who's living like on the other side of the world that has struggled with something similar, and you were the only person to ever make them feel seen or heard. That is huge. It doesn't matter how many followers that you have whatsoever. And I've had so many DMs like that, because there's times where I feel like, am I even doing enough? But I get DMs that are like, oh, this really helped me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. We're doing, it's like, we're doing okay.
I don't think our followers or like anyone's followers realize how much impact you have on the flip side too.
Oh, for sure.
Like when we get messages like that, or like people that even email like the podcast, whatever it is, like I read everything. Like maybe I won't have time to respond to everything, but like I read everything, and those messages always make me tear up, like without a doubt, always. It's good to have that reassurance that like we are like at least helping at least one person out there.
Exactly. You know? And that's what connecting with your audience can really do. It can really make people want to follow you, and they know your personality. They know what you like. They know the like things that you don't like, instead of just being like a floating picture on Instagram. That's why like making Instagram stories and TikToks and like Reels and YouTube can be so personal, and people really know you as a person if you share like your dumb little thoughts, maybe silly things that you did today, maybe something that you ate, maybe something that your dog did. Like they can relate to you on a personal level, so that they're not looking at you like in that celebrity way. Not that we are, but like the way that I see a celebrity is like it's all just like photos, and I don't really know anything about them. I don't even know what makes them laugh. Like I don't know anything. So I can't connect to somebody like that versus like a Whitney Simmons who shares like something that her dog is struggling with, and maybe, you know, or something that she's struggling with
on
mentally.
Things past fitness.
Or some food that she like is really loving and that you want to try. Like all these things seem really small, but they make you know this person, and they want you to like, you start having like a diehard following. And for me, I know that it's working because, and I know that people know a lot about me because I literally get people that send me stuff that they think I would like, or they know that I would like tennis shoes, water bottles, videos, and they just
people send me memes, and I love those people because I'm like, you get it, because
you know my personality.
People that just look at my photos, I always have like resting bitch face. I look very serious. I don't have a serious bone in my body. I think I just like have, that's my face.
My face.
So the people that send me memes, I'm like, you get it, like you get me, and it's always been really intimidating for me. I feel like I used to make all my captions super long. I used to share everything about myself, and then I got a following and I stopped because I got scared, because I was like, whoa, there's like 4 times the amount of eyes on me now. This is a lot of pressure. And now I'm slowly falling back into like the old me where I felt like I could talk about anything. And I still think like setting up my camera and talking is still intimidating. This podcast has helped a ton. We're now on TikTok because I feel like that's like my safe space. Is almost like more comfortable for me to like just throw up a camera and talk to it instead of like making it a whole big deal. Like it's really not that serious. It should be fun. Like if you're not enjoying it, maybe social media is not for you. Like this should all be fun things to do, not like, it shouldn't, like it is a job, but it shouldn't feel like a stressful job.
Exactly. And that's why you can pick and choose the things that you actually want to do. Like I never thought we would be doing a podcast, but like eventually I built up the courage to do a podcast, to do a YouTube, and to like have someone follow me around, but it wasn't definitely not always the case.
My first like 5 episodes, if you go back on this podcast, I was like, you can watch it in my face having panic attacks. Like I was terrified to talk in front of a camera because it's something that's so unnatural to me, and now it feels normal. Like now I can picture our little audience behind the screen, and I'm like, we're just hanging out with them.
We're just chilling, guys. And that was even the same for me with Instagram stories. I can remember a specific day. I had already gone to the gym in the morning because I had to go before I went to my salon job when I first started trying to grow my social media. And I was on my patio, and I literally was trying to make a story about like something that I learned. I was trying to make it, and I did it like 10 times because I just couldn't.
It still takes me at least 2 attempts these days.
Now I just like throw up the camera, and I'm like, whatever happens. And even like with YouTube, like if I mess up words, if I like fumble, if I do something stupid, Ian barely edits anything out of my YouTube.
Because it's authentic. That's
it's just me. Like I at this point, I just like, I don't care. If I say or like don't know the words.
People don't like perfection as much as I think we assume they do. Like
people don't relate to perfection.
Exactly. Like I used to want my Instagram story to all have like the same color grade and aesthetic. And now I'm like, who cares if my pizza is a different shade of yellow from the photo before it? Nobody cares.
They're probably just on the other going like
exactly.
Scrolling through like
through.
Tap, tap, tap,
exactly.
Tap, 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 tap.
So if that's like holding you back from sharing, like
that's another thing for this is like you're gonna have to get over the perfection of it and making sure everything looks like is great and over obsessing and just like getting scared. Like you have to just start, and starting with one platform is manageable and cool. And then that leads me to honestly tip number 6 is just to keep showing up, because it's going to be really difficult. Like I started at 800 followers and then it was like 1,000. It was like maybe like 1,100. Like it seemed so slow. It felt like nothing was happening. And I just continued pushing, showing up every day, planning my content, showing up on social media, doing the things that I said that I was going to do, learning about the platforms, learning about engagement, going on YouTube and figuring out like the best practices, like continuously educating myself on all of these things and not giving up, because literally, I started in 2019 with 800 followers, and now 2023, I have over 1 million plus on all of these platforms because I just kept going and I didn't give up. And I eventually built the confidence to just like talk and speak and write and do all of these things without having to over obsess about what's coming out of my mouth or how I look or whatever. And it eventually came. It wasn't always that way.
And depending on your goal, like numbers really don't even matter as far as like followers. It's more so like how many people are you actually connecting with? Like you could have 1 million followers and none of them know a thing about you or care about you or wouldn't buy anything you put out or whatever. Like I have some friends that use Instagram as a tool for their like real estate businesses, and they'll like share houses. It just takes one client. It takes one customer to be like, I found you on Instagram. Like they don't need 1 million bajillion. They don't need to like have like, it fully depends on your business. So just connecting with like even one person could make a difference for them, could make a difference for you, could make a difference for like your job, could really change a lot. I was going to add something too. Oh, plateauing. Plateauing on platforms is like normal. I feel like everyone hits it. My journey is like full-fledged went into social media. I was still in high school. So that was my job. Like I was able to make that what I was doing every day after school. So I got up to 10,000 followers, and then I was at 10,000 followers for like a year and a half, 2 years. And it was like definitely discouraging, but like you said, I just kept showing up. I kept posting, and I really didn't care about like numbers. I didn't care about anything. And then like one day it like crept up to the 11K. And I was like, oh, like we're moving in the right direction. And then that turns into 12. And then that like bumped up to 20. So like sometimes you make huge jumps. Sometimes you're plateaued for a while. Yeah. Recently, like my numbers have been super stagnant. And now I'm like reassessing of like, okay, well, I did change a lot about my page. I used to be 100% fitness. Now I'm doing a lot more lifestyle things. Do I want to go back to fitness? And that took me a while to like loop around. And I'm like, yeah, I miss making like gym content. I want to do that again. And I already see my numbers changing as I'm posting gym stuff again. People are like, oh, we missed this. So it's good to look objectively. It is a business. Like we said, it is marketing, and it's good to reassess what do you want your audience to be. Like you could have 200,000 followers now, still start back at number 1. Like, okay, now who do you want your audience to be? Has it changed? Is it the same? Like now what's your niche? Did it change? Is it the same? Like go through this over and over.
Yeah, which can be actually really challenging, because if you, like we said at the beginning, if you start with a specific avatar in a specific niche and that's what people know you as, if you ever want to change
people did not like it when I changed.
Like for example, like right now I'm still on the same path as when I first started of like who I'm attracting, which is like aspiring bodybuilders or people that are like super into fitness and weightlifting. If I were to switch to like being a makeup blogger, I would need to start a new account.
Yeah.
So you also have to think about that. It's like, if you are completely wanting to do something else, or you want to do like multiple things, honestly, I would create different accounts.
Yeah.
Because like if you can't be marketing to like multiple people on one page. And you're right. Like you started switching over to lifestyle, which is what people didn't sign up for.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
exactly.
It's like, they're like,
Exactly.
I bought blah, 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 but I got this.
Yeah.
So what are people signing up for when they're coming to your page? And it doesn't mean that you can't switch. You just have to
commit to that niche.
Which
is something I wasn't doing.
And completely like switch or make a new account. And that's your like photography account.
Yeah.
That's
I
your
have a
makeup
photography
account.
page. We have a podcast page. Like those are things that we're just as passionate about as our fitness pages, but we needed a different outlet because some people honestly don't care.
Yes.
Like you said, it's not what they signed up for. They don't want to hear me talk. They just wanted to see my workout outfit of the day. Like whatever they're there for, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like, at least for me too, on the stagnant spot, I was very stagnant for a long time at like 240K or so. And then I just had a leg day video pop off, and it went like
just takes one.
Literally. And this is what'll happen, guys. It's like, especially like on TikTok, it'll seem like nothing's happening for a long time, and then like one will randomly pop off. That's just
TikTok is so
it's
random.
just random, and that's just kind of like what happens. But you have to keep showing up, because I'll be posting videos on TikTok and it's just like seems like crickets and nothing's happening. One pops off and then I gain like 10,000 overnight.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I first got onto TikTok. Is like I posted one and I went to bed and I woke up with 15K.
Literally, yeah.
And I was like, all right, maybe there's something to this, you know? And that's what'll happen with Instagram. It was very stagnant for a little bit. I was really confused on what kind of content I was posting. I had to go and reassess what my avatar was, what my niche was, who I was serving, and what they would want to see. And that's what I did. And I made a leg day video of me like putting on a little cute outfit and then hitting legs, because that's what my niche wants to see. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here.
Julia's quads.
That's what they signed up for. And it popped off to 1 million.
Yeah.
And then I started using that as my inspiration for other videos.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay,
what does well,
worked.
like look at what does well. It's again another engagement tool. It's very easy to just like go to your analytics, see what posts do the best, maybe recreate them. Maybe you haven't posted like a certain pose outfit or at a certain gym in like a year. Time to do it again. Like that doesn't hurt.
You're so right. And like it's so easy to get caught up in like I have to have fresh new ideas all the time, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So literally go on your Instagram, go on your TikTok, and do an audit. This is what I did a month ago. I did like an audit, and I said like, okay, what works? What do people want to see? And I found out that, okay, videos of me posing, people love those. Workout videos do really, really well. And then number 3 is like really motivational, hypey things. So those 3 videos do really well. And I've been posting those things in different kind of ways. Same thing, just a different way. And they always do really well. So I posted like a shoulder workout when we were in Costa Rica. It was already planned out. It was already edited.
I was like,
ready to go.
This is not here.
It was already ready to go. And it was a similar format to what works in the past with that 1 million view leg day. But it was a shoulder workout, and I did it slightly different. I was putting on my grips, like I was doing different angles or whatever. Same concept, and it still did really, really well.
Yeah.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I also tried a new type of video. I like tested a new video idea, which was Amazon workout hauls. I posted it on a Saturday.
Personally.
Yeah, and I passed it on a Saturday, and it's something that I've never done before. I've never done like a try on Amazon haul, and it popped off. People loved it. So I said, okay, how can I recreate this and do it in a different way? And I did like a Costa Rica Amazon haul and that one popped off as well. So this weekend I'm going to make a different one of like, I don't know, my top favorite gym shoes.
Just to share, like on the influencer side, I'm assuming if you're listening this far in the video, this is something you want to do for a living, then we can have our own Amazon storefronts.
Exactly.
People can buy those items and we get a cut, and that's how you can start making a living. Like I feel like we could do our own whole video on like how to make money on social media, but that like you have to be strategic with things like that. It's one thing to have that video blow up, but if you don't have any links for those people to buy it on, you're getting nothing from it other than followers, which can still lead to income, but no immediate business.
I feel like we need a whole episode on how to make money on.
If you guys want that, let us know.
Let us know in the comments. DM us how to make money on social media, because you can. Yes. People will see a lot of like quote whatever influencers, and they're like they don't have a job, they don't do anything, but like they're actually making money. Some are and some aren't. It's just like you can see people that have millions of followers who are making a lot of money on social media, and there's people that have millions of followers that just they're not. They have
it's like a thing they do. Just share.
They just show up. So you can and you can't. But I hope this helped. Let us know if you guys want to see that next video. And as always, we love you all so much, and you're more powerful than you think.
Bye. I feel like when you get excited